everybody. My name is Miss Carol, and today I'm going to share with you a story time about sunny day friends. I think you can guess what those friends are, right? What's in that picture? You're right, it is a shadow. So here is a story time with stories and songs and activities all about our sunny day friends, shadows. And I'm going to start with a book that is called I Have a Friend. It's by Kaiko Narahashi, and this is how it begins. I have a friend. I have a friend who lives in my house. He sits with me on the steps and follows me down the street to the park, where he hides in the trees and whispers in my ear, "You can't catch me." In the summertime, we are at the beach. He swims underwater, dancing and shaking and never holding still. Even when I hold my breath. Do you like to hold your breath? Shall we count? I'll count and you hold your breath. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Blow it out. Sometimes he is short and fat, and sometimes he's so tall he can touch the treetops. Sometimes you're short and fat around lunchtime, and at the end of the day you get very long shadows. He can slide up a wall or hip-hop down the stairs, ziggity-zaggity. He warns the butterflies when I am near. He goes places I can't follow. He keeps my dreams secret and safe. But when the sun goes down, he disappears into the darkness. Night falls. Look at night, isn't that wonderful? And I go home. In the morning, he will be waiting with the sun. He is yesterday's night, left behind for the day. What a great idea of what a shadow is. A little bit of last night left behind, yesterday's night, left behind for the day. And that is, I Have a Friend. So we're going to do a song. It's called I Am Your Shadow. It's what's called a piggyback song. That means that we put new words to an old song. You'll probably recognize the song. It's I'm a Little Teapot. But we're going to do it as I Am Your Shadow. And I hope you'll do it along with me. I'll stand up so you can see things a little bit better, and we'll do it together. I am your shadow, short and fat. Lift up your hand, I can do that. Lift up your foot, I do that too. I do anything that you do. I am your shadow, tall and thin. Put your finger on your chin. Now look at me, I did that too. I do anything that you do. Yay! Okay, now we've got another story. You may recognize this bear. He's been in a lot of books. He's sometimes called Moon Bear and sometimes called Bear. And the stories are by Frank Ash. And this one is a fun one called Bear Shadow. Bear Shadow. Do you see what's happening in this book? Do you see the sun is changing its place in the skies? It goes from morning to evening, and you see how the shadow changes the shadow of the tree. One day, Bear went down to the pond with his fishing pole and a big can of worms. While he was putting a worm on his hook, he looked down and he saw a big fish. I'm going to catch that fish, thought Bear to himself. But when Bear stood up to throw his line into the water, his shadow scared the big fish away. Go away, Shadow, cried Bear. But Bear's shadow would not go away. Okay, said Bear, if you won't go away on your own, then I'll just have to get rid of you. And he put down his fishing pole and began to run. He ran around the pond. When he got to the other side, he kept on running. He ran through a field of flowers, jumped over the brook, and hid behind a tree. Good, thought Bear. Now Shadow can't find me. Do you think Shadow's going to be able to find him? But Bear was wrong. When he stepped out from behind the tree, the first thing he saw was Shadow. Nearby was a cliff. Bear walked over to the cliff and looked up. I climbed so high, Shadow won't be able to follow me, thought Bear. Do you all want to climb? Climb up high. There we go. Bear climbed higher and higher and higher until at last he pulled himself up to the top. Huffing and puffing, he smiled with pride. Then he looked down, and what do you think he saw? His own shadow. Now Bear was very annoyed, so he went home and got a hammer and some nails to nail his shadow to the ground. He hammered and hammered and hammered, but no matter how many nails he hammered, he couldn't nail his shadow down. If I can't nail him down, thought Bear, maybe I can bury him. So he got his shovel and dug a hole. When the hole was deep and wide, he let his shadow fall in the hole. Then Bear filled in the hole with dirt. When he was finished, it was almost noon. The sun was high in the sky, and Shadow was nowhere to be seen. At last, sighed Bear, no more Shadow. But now Bear was very tired, so he went inside and took a little nap. While he slept, time passed, and the sun once again cast shadows everywhere. You see what's happening with the shadow, how it's changing and going longer and longer? When Bear got up and opened his door, he saw his shadow on the floor. Not you again, exclaimed Bear, and he slammed the door, hoping to lock Shadow inside. But Shadow was too quick. Sighed Bear. How about this? If you let me catch a fish, I'll let you catch one too. Nod your head like this if it's a deal. When Bear nodded his head, Shadow nodded too. So Bear went back to the pond and once again threw his line into the water. By this time, the sun was in a different part of the sky, which made it easy for Shadow to keep his part of the deal. See how Shadow's now behind Bear? And when Bear caught that big fish, Shadow caught one too. And that is called Bear Shadow. All right. Did you ever see a shadow, a shadow, a shadow? Did you ever see a shadow swing this way and that? Swing this way and that way and this way and that way. Did you ever see a shadow swing this way and that? Did you ever see a shadow, a shadow, a shadow? Did you ever see a shadow stretch this way and that? Stretch this way and that way. This way and that way. Did you ever see a shadow stretch this way and that? Did you ever see a shadow, a shadow, a shadow? Did you ever see a shadow turn this way and that? Turn this way and that way and this way and that way. Did you ever see a shadow turn this way and that? You can make up many more verses to that for shadow things you can do, and you can watch your shadow outside as you do them. I have one more story to share with you today, and it's a story that's based on a poem by Robert Louis Stevenson called My Shadow, and the illustrations are by Ted Rand. My Shadow by Robert Louis Stevenson. Look at the fun things those shadows are doing. Have you ever blown bubbles and seen what shadows look like, the bubble shadows? I have a little shadow that goes in and out with me, and what can be the use of him is more than I can see. He is very, very like me, from the heels up to the head. and I see him jump before me when I jump into my bed. The funniest thing about him is the way he likes to grow. Not at all like proper children, which is always very slow. For he sometimes shoots up taller like an India rubber ball. And he sometimes gets so little that there's none of him at all. He hasn't got a notion of how children ought to play, and can only make a fool of me in every sort of way. He stays so close beside me, he's a coward, you can see. I'd think shame to stick to Nursey as that shadow sticks to me. One morning very early, before the sun was up, I rose and found the shining dew on every buttercup. But my lazy little shadow, like an errant sleepy head, had stayed at home behind me and was fast asleep in bed. And look what the kids are doing by candlelight. And of course, you can make fun shadow puppets as well. I'm going to include as a link on this video, below it, a link to a Reading Rainbow with a shadow master who teaches you how to make some really wonderful hand shadow puppets. Before we go, though, I'd like to sing one more song. This is another piggyback song. It's based on a song from Sesame Street. Again, I added some new words, and it's called Be My Shadow. It's based on Be My Echo. Be my shadow, sing after me. Do what I do carefully. Reach high, 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 high. Bend low, low, low. Bend low, low, low. Run fast, fast, fast. Run fast, fast, fast. Walk slow, slow, slow. Slow, slow, slow. Walk along a tight rope. Walk along a tight rope. Skipping to and fro. Skipping to and fro. Be my shadow. Be my shadow. Do what I do, do what I do. Follow the leader and sing after me. Climb up stairs, climb up stairs. Turn around, turn around. Reach to the sky, reach to the sky. Now touch the ground, touch the ground. Walk on your tippy toes, walk on your tippy toes. Then on your knees, then on your knees. You've been my shadow, you've been my shadow. You did what I did, you did what I did. You followed the leader and sang after me. So I hope you have a good day. Go outside if you can. See what shadows you can make. You can do lots of different things outside. One of the things you can do if you want to is be your own sundial. Take some sidewalk chalk and draw an X someplace that's sunny in your neighborhood, and then stand there and mark where your shadow is at a particular time of day. Come back out an hour later and see where your shadow has gone and mark that time. And you can mark over the course of the day how your shadow moves and make your very own shadow sundial. I already told you about the fact that you can make shadow puppets with your hands, and I will send you some instructions about that. And you can play outside and enjoy the sun and watch how your shadow changes from the middle of the day around lunchtime when it's quite short to the early morning when it's quite long in one direction going west, and late in the day when it's quite long going in another direction, east, because the sun is now in the west. So take a look at find out about directions in your house and have a very good time. Enjoy the sunny day, and I'll be back with you again soon with more stories and ideas. Stay safe and well. All the best, Miss Carol.